Perhaps the greatest challenge that any family enterprise can face is the challenge of succession. And so often succession is confused as, is it the succession of ownership or the succession of leadership? And we typically focus on the succession of leadership. And within that, there are two major factors. One is the younger generation's ability to take hold. The second is the senior generation's ability to let go.
The underlying challenge around the succession is the communication between the generations, but allowing the senior generation and the younger generation to talk to each other, to share their fears, and most importantly, share their expectations. That what does each individual want with respect to what is the succession plan? And then it allows them, once they understand the expectations, then they can start to map it out and really gain alignment as to what their vision is for the future of the business.
Until the senior generation recognizes the younger generation's ability to take hold, the seniors will never let go. They've also got to find something for themselves. They've got to move to something of significance, a career. You know, they built their lives making money, working in the business. Now it's time to move to something of significance. An old friend once told me, if you don't know where you're going, you'll never let go of where you've been. So they need a sense of direction. They need to know where they're headed, what's going to be the next phase of their lives.
Another challenge that families are facing is leadership. How do you define who the next leader is going to be? Often in a family business, the leader of the business tends to be the leader of the family. How do you pass down that legacy? How do you identify who is the most appropriate person to run the business and who ultimately might be the same person running the family? We find that being able to look at the needs of the business and make the proper alignment with the right leadership is critical to seeing that through.
We've developed a proprietary instrument called the Attributes of Leadership Checklist. It looks at what the needs of the business are and what's required of the next generation's leaders to get it there. Emerging leaders can then explore this instrument and measure themselves as to how they stack up relative to the needs of the business and the competencies that they have in order to take the company forward. It allows for assessment by others in the company as well. So, good tool and a useful tool, but it's one of many. There are so many ways to work with emerging leaders. And of course, there's the age-old question, are leaders made or are leaders born? And we happen to believe it's a little bit of both.
Yep. The key piece here is to really understand what does the business need from the leadership, how do you define those needs, who is the right person to take it over, and then ensuring that the key stakeholders within the organization are aligned behind the same common goals and visions to drive the organization.
The challenge for us in working with families is to help them unveil this process, to realize what's the best solution for them. It's not our job to necessarily come in and be the content consultant and tell them what the quick fix is and what the solution is. But if we can help the family work the process themselves and own the solution themselves, they're going to be a lot better off when it comes to implementing that solution. It'll be theirs.